Hey everyone, and welcome back to Darkweb series with me, Wetsock. And joining me on this episode is Brutal Penguin.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 4. Uh, my channel has now been classed as an educational channel, so I'm going to be getting a few different series lined up in the future, moving through dark web into malware, spyware, some programming, etc., etc. So keep an eye out for those series to come through. So let's get stuck straight into the websites I have lined up for you. This is a steroid market, similar to the drug websites that I've shown before. Only this one sells everything related to steroids and pharmaceuticals. Um, Legally, you can obtain them through a doctor or a healthcare professional, but through here, it's mainly for I guess, the purposes of bodybuilding. Um,
An unregulated usage.
exactly. But what we found strange was when we came into here, there was a COVID-19 tab. We clicked into this one here, and it's actually offering a COVID-19 vaccination. This one here is only $28. The other one's $250.
Probably the bad one.
I guess it's questionable as to which one is good, really. Um, I mean, this all looks very legitimate, which is very, very dangerous, I guess, because nobody should be vaccinating themselves against COVID-19. This should only be done professionally, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and of course at your own choice. But yeah, this one, this one here it's giving a bit of a breakdown as to who has had it and who hasn't. But um,
Uh, mRNA.
mm,
Not heard of that one.
just saying the type of vaccine. So the manufacturer's Moderna TX.
Yeah, but the name is the mRNA 1273.
Mm,
So that would be the name of the vaccine. I mean, clearly we've got like the AstraZeneca and other well-known named ones that you'd be hearing on the news and stuff, but not heard of that one.
yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, very very curious to see that um, people would be peddling the vaccine in a black market. I mean, it makes sense, really. I mean, you sell fear effectively, and it works. You see all the panic buys and that sort of stuff when a new mini pandemic seems to fire up. Everybody goes running out to the shops to purchase everything that they think that they're going to need to be able to stay inside for however long. But when we start to look through all this other stuff, um, you can purchase all your standard muscle building steroids such as testosterone, just here, um, Dianabol, so D-bol. I have done some research into steroids before because I am a personal trainer, have been. So I have done my research into these sorts of things. But one that kind of stands out is Trenbolone from all of these. And Trenbolone is used by bodybuilders, but is primarily used for cattle.
Farmers, yeah, use it for bulking up their livestock.
Yeah. So if you think if a farmer is using this to bulk up his cattle, um, what it's going to do to a person is going to be tenfold, considering we're what,
Much smaller.
half or a third of the weight, maybe even a quarter of the weight in some instances. So this is a very serious drug. Um, that I mean, people do use it, and it would be entirely at their own risk. But this is a very serious muscle building drug that is not really designed for humans. Um,
They've even got sex drive.
yeah, I just saw that one. Um, These must be some forms of Viagra. Yeah, Vigora. And $9, $12, $21, 100 mg. So, I mean, this sort of stuff would make sense. But the fact that, yeah, nobody should be playing around with this sort of stuff unless, you've received it as a prescription.
But even then, you should be seeing a healthcare professional before.
I mean, there's nothing under peptides, but that was there was a football team here in Australia that got done for using these because they weren't they weren't tested the same as a steroid. It came from like pigs or something like that. It's like a pig hormone. So it does have some element of a energetic boost and a muscle building boost, but it's significantly more mild than testosterone. So yeah, very strange stuff that you can get on the darknet. So, all right, moving on to the next website. Now, I know that I guess majority of the websites I'm showing are doom and gloom or nasty and probably not so much inappropriate, but illicit or illegal. But this one here is deep web radio. This is where you can be listening to all sorts of music and that sort of stuff that's just aired. I guess the reason for this is that some types of music aren't going to be legal in certain countries. Or even just the fact that some people just want to get their stuff out there. So here, people can listen to all different genres of music.
As well as certain podcasts, topics that they would talk about would be deemed almost heretical in some countries.
Yeah. Very, very likely. So, yeah, there's Chet Baker. Chet Faker, isn't it?
Chet Faker is the Australian artist.
Who's Chet Baker then?
Wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I've never heard of Chet Baker. But
that's jazz. Doesn't make jazz.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's a whole heap of different types of music through here. So this is the lighter side of the dark web. So someone's putting this sort of stuff up here completely anonymous, and completely anonymous listeners can tune in and just listen to music. There's nothing illegal about that. There's nothing wrong with that. But like Brutal Penguin said, some podcasts and stuff like that may not necessarily be allowed in certain countries. So it's somewhere that people can come to listen to that sort of stuff for enjoyment or for knowledge. So yeah, this is just more of the lighter side of the dark web to show that,
again, it's not all evil.
Exactly.
There is a reason for it to exist.
Yeah, exactly. So that there is good in the bad. Next website. Now, this one is completely legal. This one anyone can use. This is Protonmail. This is a mailbox, so completely anonymous, completely secure. This is where I guess people can't trace where the emails are going to and coming from, etc., etc. Other than the email address itself. So completely hidden, completely anonymous, completely secure. This is used amongst a variety of different people from walks of life, from ethical hackers, so legal hackers, people who will pen test networks, get sensitive information, and then to communicate that effectively with the company that they're working with, they would use something similar to this effect, if essentially to communicate that information without the risk of that information being leaked. On the other side of the coin, it can be used by criminals for illegal communications. We've seen on some of the websites in previous episodes that their email address is listed there, and that's through Protonmail. and that's because you're able to communicate with the criminal without the risk of them being caught. So it does have a double-edged sword here. The harder we go in security, the more we allow criminals to stay hidden. So
It's like everything, I guess.
it is, yeah.
You kind of gotta not let the small percentage ruin it for the vast majority.
Exactly. I mean, we could probably stop all criminals, well, all major criminals within 24 hours if all of us gave up our rights for privacy. If we were to all have our information just spread all over the place, then
that also causes ethical problems in itself.
It definitely does, yeah. It definitely does. So, yeah, this one you're allowed to use. You can research this just through your standard Google browser, Protonmail, get a bit of information about it. It's not something that I would recommend using unless you have a need for privacy to this extent. Like, obviously, your Gmail, your Hotmail, that sort of stuff. Most emails are going to be using some level of encryption. So, you're not going to have to worry about people sneaking in and getting your emails and reading it. This just provides that anonymity as to where it came from. So, as long as the person doesn't know you personally, they'll never be able to find out where you are. Right. And the last website that I have, this one is going to touch on some aspects that we cannot cover throughout this series for moral reasons. Well, I mean, there are legal reasons, but probably the higher element would be the moral reasons that we won't visit some of these websites. So you can see here under the erotica tab, you've got leaked celebrity nudes. Not particularly a bad site, but I guess just for their privacy, we wouldn't be looking at things like this. But then directly underneath that, this is where it gets a little bit more intense with real violent pornographic content, humiliation, forced videos. So this is extremely violent in the spectrum of pornography and nudity. And then below that, again, this is where we get into the completely illicit pornography sort of stuff. So I've blurred out or blacked out all of the links and the URL like I do in all the other episodes so that nobody's going to be able to just go straight to this, because we don't want to encourage anybody to being able to get to this sort of content. If we start to scroll up, it's just links on the left hand side, and on the right hand side, it's just giving you a bit of a
brief description of what it is.
Exactly. So you've got drugs, you've got books. So this is where you're more legal, or I guess standard use of the dark web would kind of come into here. So you got comic books. We've already visited that.
The Bible, we covered that.
Yep, Bible. You start to move up. We have things like the Onion version of Pirate Bay. Again, we don't want to be encouraging anyone to be using that sort of stuff. For those who don't know what Pirate Bay is, it is a torrenting website. So you will download a torrent. So for a movie, a game, a piece of software, whatever it is that you're after, and effectively you get it for free. It is theft, so that's why we don't want to encourage anyone to be able to reach this. As we start to scroll up, there are just more and more different types of sites. Now, this is a directory for Onion websites, and there are many, many others. We also have whistleblowing, so where you can have a look and see information that was kind of not completely publicized.
Sort of your I don't know, your more intense journalism and stuff that you wouldn't typically see on a standard news broadcaster or something.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have your social networks. So Facebook, you could create a dummy Facebook account and go access it through the Onion network, so that effectively anything you post, no one can find out where it came from. Would not encourage anyone to be using this, because if you do get caught, depending on what country you're in, they're going to assume that what you're up to is no good.
Like it says right there, trust them at your apparel.
Yeah, exactly. More emails and that sort of stuff. You got Torbox, you got Mail to Tor, SecMail. There's a few others. These, again, nothing particularly illegal about them. It's the use that makes them illegal. So, moving further up, there's just more fake ID generator, and there's just plenty of stuff that you can access. Some of it obviously illegal. Others can be illegal in some countries, legal in others. So it's more, if anyone was to go into the dark web, it would be more a case of what sort of stuff you're after. If you're after things that aren't legal in your country, but legal in others, then I guess it comes down to morals as to whether you go to it or not. More guns and
jewelry,
drugs and jewelry and fake passports and
fixed
betting
odds and stuff.
Financial services, so card skimming, fraudulent currency, that sort of stuff. So yeah, some stuff that we just won't cover, and that would be mainly anything in the erotic section. And then moving from that would be more the violence section. So your red rooms and that sort of stuff. We won't cover anything like that. We can talk about it, and I'm happy for you to jump into my Discord and we can talk about it there, because those sorts of sites, obviously highly illegal. Even just visiting them is highly illegal. But there's nothing really, even in terms of editing, that you could show. It is just violence upon illegal content. So yeah, if you want to start a discussion about that sort of stuff, jump into my Discord and I can explain a bit about it. But yeah, just for moral reasons, we can't go to the absolute extremes of the dark web, but I can take you as close as I can without, I guess, breaching any sort of laws or moral codes. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe and just drop some comments below to continue a conversation.
We are so close to the 1,000 subs.
we are, yes. So yeah, till the next episode, everyone. Stay safe. Peace.
Bye.